Okay, let's go ahead and stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No, you're good. You're not annoying at all. Welcome. What a big crowd. We've got loyal followers, people. Okay. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and Thanksgiving and Happy New Year, everybody. So, it's been a while since we've seen each other. I got sick a couple of times, so that was rough. So everybody wash your hands, quit hugging people, stay away from the sick. And don't donate plasma and then go substitute teach for kindergarten the next day and expect to not catch anything. Because that's how I got sick. So, yeah, don't do that. Okay, first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the November meetings. So, that's been a while ago. She sent this out to us a long time ago. So, I think we've all had a chance to read it. Did we have any suggestions for edits? Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for November? Motion to approve. Okay. Kathy made the motion. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay. All right. All those in favor of approving the minutes for November 26, 2024, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Minutes are approved. Thank you all. Alrighty, business. So I had Gayla change the agenda a little bit, like the way it's formatted, because, you know, we have typically like new business and old business on the agenda, but a lot of the stuff that we talk about is, it's kind of, some of them can be like in the same category in a way, it just depends. So I just had her from now on, unless there's new business, to just put everything together. Because a lot of this stuff's reoccurring, so I think it's better formatted this way.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so number one, the newsletter for January. Tammy is picking the resident spotlight for this month. She is out of town, I think, for work, so she'll get with me on who she's chosen, so I don't know yet. And then I think, Mina, it was your pick this month for a business club or organization, so who did you go with?
I'm gonna do the Dancing Bean.
Okay, the Dancing Bean. All righty. I think that's great. Fun. I think it'll be, I don't know what we'll do, like when we run out of businesses and clubs and organizations. I don't think we'll run out of people for the residents, but, you know, but we can still go a long way to go before we run out, so I think.
Who has what next month?
So she did the business club organization, so next month Brett will pick that, and then the resident will be your pick next month. So it starts with Tammy, then you, then me, then Mina, then Brett, and we go in that order. Okay. All right, thank you, Mina. Okay, number 2, RFQ update. So the RFQ has been posted for the Special People's Park since, let's see, the Board of Commissioners approved it in November. So it's been posted since like the beginning of December. We put a deadline for January 31st to give people plenty of time to submit for that, since we were going into the holidays. So far, I don't think we have any full submissions yet, because they've still got a little bit, they've still got a couple weeks, and if we need to extend the deadline, we can.
I think it was 12/31 or
January 31st.
January.
January 31st, yeah, that's the deadline. But I have had multiple architect and engineering firms reach out to me with questions. I've had a couple of Zoom call meetings with them, just wanting further information. The biggest thing that we're gonna have to sit down and talk about, which is, I'll get to that when we get to number 3, but we're gonna have to figure out what sort of budget that we can put aside for the rest of this fiscal year and then for the next fiscal year. So I'm assuming, I'm hoping that the Board of Commissioners will start some budget workshops here pretty soon, because the fiscal year will begin July 1st of this year. So, we need to go through a couple of budget workshops, to 2 or 3 at least, to get everything in order. But I want us to sit down when we have a workshop to discuss our plans for 2025 and just talk about what kind of money we've got, how much does bingo cost, like what is it typically costing us each month, what's 4th of July costing, the Christmas parade, the Christmas community gathering. We need to kind of do line items for those things, because right now it's coming out of one pile for Parks and Rec, and I think we need to make it more detailed so that we know what we can spend and what we're spending on these events. And that way we can plan to budget to set aside the money for that park. Because right now, we don't know how much the architect and engineering stuff's gonna cost, because whoever we choose that submits to the RFQ, it'll take some time. The Board of Commissioners and even the Planning Commission may want to be involved in helping us sort of narrow down who we should go with to do the designs and the permitting and all that stuff for the park. So, we don't know what they're going to charge. But in the RFQ, typically, you have room to negotiate, and if you can't come to an agreement, you just move on to the next one. And a lot of times, we may want to actually have interviews with some of them. So Pat, you can chime in on that if you want to. I think that's what we talked about at the last Board of Commissioners meeting when we brought that up.
I'd love to see the list of people that have responded already.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I think there's probably 4 or 5.
That was good.
So but they haven't submitted anything
I want
to.
to know names.
Okay, I can do that. I don't have anybody in Townsend that's reached out to me, but I have had 1 or 2 from Knoxville, 1 or 2 from Chattanooga. I had somebody from Nashville reach out. I had somebody from West Virginia reach out. So yeah, somehow they're finding out about, I don't know how they find out about these RFQs, but they must get published somewhere. Yeah. And I also reached out myself to a few local ones and just said, hey, we've got this RFQ, if you were another firm is interested, tell them to take a look at it, and if they have any questions, I can call. So, was just trying to get it out there as much as I could. So that's the update for that. Like I said, if we need to extend the deadline for that RFQ and those submissions we can, we probably won't have to, unless nobody submits anything. So I'll keep y'all updated on how many submissions we get, and I'll probably have to remind a couple of them of the deadline. So, okay, any questions about that RFQ? Yes.
Is there grant money coming in for that, for spending on that RFQ, or is
No.
we're waiting to get all this information and then apply for a grant, so you're 2 years out from doing something?
Yeah. Who was I talking to? It was one of the firms, because that's one of the things, like if we go for like a state funded grant, like with TDEC, like a LPRF grant or RTP grant, then they're gonna want the CEI, I forget what that, they're gonna want that architect or engineer to draw out those plans, and so we have to select somebody first. That's really the first thing. We gotta figure out what our budget is
So-
for it and selecting
So you
who's gonna do it.
feel that the drawings or the park
Mhm.
have to be complete, and a rough estimate of how much that
At
costs
least a rough idea.
before you can work on a part,
Yeah.
grant.
Yes.
Especially a foundational grant, because those foundational grants like T-Mobile and AERP, where they're privately funded, they are very competitive and they require a lot. I had a Zoom meeting with Chris from East Tennessee Development District last week because he agreed to help us with some of these grant opportunities. Now, he told me, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but those foundational grants that he's went for, he's never had one funded. He said your best chance is the state grants. So, but there's another thing on top of that, we have to have the community plan. We have to have that Parks and Rec plan too.
What's the, what's the estimated completion date of that?
End of summer, early fall of this year is what I've been told.
So that's all.
Yeah, they have like phases.
Okay.
So end of summer, early fall is what we're kind of looking at before that's supposed to be done.
And that needs to be included in anything that we, so that kind of gives us a timeline. of what we're looking at.
Yeah, he told me, I actually have some notes. I'm glad that I brought Chris up because he shared some pretty valuable information with me that I did not know regarding grants, so. Okay, so I'll just go through these from my meeting with Chris on the 8th. He said you can use the value of land as a match for state grants. I did not know that. Nobody's ever told me that. The LPRF grant, which is the Land Park River Fund, no, I got that wrong. It's a 50-50 match. So like the city would have to put up 50% of whatever we ask for. And if
Is that where you can use the value?
Yeah. For state grants, in order for him to help us, he would not charge us to help us with the application process. But for any sort of private foundational grants that we go for, he would charge us between $500 to $1,000, but he said if we're comfortable letting his intern do it, then he wouldn't charge us at all. Because I told him, I was like, we need help with some of these that we want to go for, and, you know, if you have some resources, we would love to use them. So he said, you know, let me know which ones you want to go for. He's very familiar with the T-Mobile grant, but not the AARP grant. So he was going to sign up for a Q&R session that they're having later this month with AARP, and he was going to learn more about that grant for us. So, which that's not a very big grant. That's typically AARP awards people between $11,000 and $18,000 on average. And they can award whatever amount that they want to, but that's typically the range. So it would have to be, like, if we were gonna go for a grant like that, it would have to be something, you know, not big. You know, and it won't pay for the architect and the engineering. It's not gonna pay for that park project down there. But the T-Mobile grant is up to $50,000, and he's familiar with that. So, you know, we need to go for one or the other this year, I think. Whether it's that park down there or this park up here. I know that the Special People's Park, the ramp and stuff is like our top priority. Though, it's just, it's gonna cost more money and take more time, unfortunately. He said typically, like when you have to do a match, you're gonna go through 2 or 3 budget cycles, 2 to 3 fiscal years before you have to pay that back, before you have to put your match up. So like the city, in theory, would have plenty of time to put aside the money that we would need for a state-funded grant. We talked about other things not related to grants. He said that whatever our project cost is, we can pretty much bet on a fourth or a third of our project cost to go to paying the engineers and the architects. He said typically that's a good equation to go by. So, but that's the problem. We don't know how much it's gonna cost, so it's gonna take a while, guys. But we have to choose somebody first that's willing to work with us.
Well, that's been the problem, not problem, but the situation since we started this was, it's a total catch-22 is we don't have the designs and you can't apply for a grant without the designs and we don't have the money to hire someone yet, so it's kind of, we're just been kind of like, and it's just gonna take a little while, but we're learning along the way.
Yeah, we are, and
And at least now we have this organization that's looking at doing something like that.
also with the state-funded grants, Chris did say like the grants with the state, a lot of times your engineering and architect firms will do a preliminary engineering report at no cost to you. So, whoever we choose, those are the kind of questions we have to ask these people. Like if you're gonna help us with a foundational grant or a state grant, what are you gonna charge us for that? What's your fee? Are you gonna oversee the project? Like, do you have people in construction that are used to doing the projects that we want to do? So there's just a lot of questions to ask, but the RFQ will let us know, like, are they even qualified to do it? Do they have time to do it?
Has CT Morrell been involved at all?
So I did reach out to Chris,
Mhm.
and I emailed him the RFQ, and he said, we'll take a look at it. If we can't, he said, I'd be glad to send it to other people that I know.
Have you worked with him now this
I just saw him yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he came up to the campground, so, he designed our campground, and I know he's designed a lot of things in Townsend, so.
Everybody has no clue.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why,
But I did send it to Chris because I wanted to let him know about it.
Yeah.
I sent it to several as soon as we approved it, and just to give people the opportunity, whether or not they were interested, because you don't know their workload and how busy they are, but they might know somebody else that can do it. So, okay. Any more questions?
When do you want to discuss or address this again, because this will actually come to a close right at the end of the month before we meet. Right, to discuss whether you want to extend it or what you want to do with this, the January 31st.
Yeah, so I'll just have to say a few days before the deadline if we've had any submissions. And if we only get one, we might want to extend it. I thought 2 months was plenty of time, but
It is holidays.
Yeah, well, things get buried.
Yeah.
It might
At
be
the end of the year, trying to get things done, so maybe if.
Yeah, maybe like this week, to just give everyone a nudge and put that on top of people's inboxes or whatever.
yeah. I can
I just
do
didn't
that.
want to run out and then us
Yeah.
have to like.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we wouldn't need to do that. We can extend it, and I'll just kind of play it by ear. So today's the 14th. I'll send out a reminder to the ones that I've talked to.
If it gets any close, just let us know and we can all get together if we need to or whatever and we send it.
Okay. Okay, any more questions about the RFQ? Okay, number 3. I already said this, but we need to schedule a workshop to discuss our budget and our plans for 2025. So, when do you all have some time to do that? What day of the week works best for you all? And are evenings better? Okay.
How long do you think?
That's a good question.
Easy couple hours, easy.
I mean, I don't go to sleep till 4 a.m., so I need to, I've got plenty of time.
I know that before that.
Well, if we met around 5:30 to do a workshop, I would say, no later than 7.
I think 5:30 to 7 is good, especially if we kind of know what's on the plate and kind of have an idea.
Yeah, I just want us to sit down and I want Gayla to help me. She's sick, you guys. So be thinking, praying for her because she is not feeling good at all. That's why she's not here. But I will get with her and she can help me figure out, do some printouts of what we've spent this year out of the Parks and Rec budget.
On what?
Yeah, and
What receipts have gone towards, does she have that itemized?
she has receipts for everything.
I just didn't know if she'd be able to say like, this much went towards supplies, this much went towards Christmas, or.
I'd say we can. It'll take a little bit, but I'd say we can do
That
that.
would be helpful, I think.
Yeah.
Are you trying to schedule that right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like this month, next month?
I'm okay if it's next month, just as soon as we can.
Something middle of the week?
That's fine.
February 12th?
I'm flexible, so
I am too.
I know you've got, I try to be considerate of everybody else's schedules and jobs and their lives and stuff, so I'm good with February 12th.
Is that gonna bother people that we have a meeting the 11th, is that gonna be too much in 1 week?
Okay.
Good catch there, I would know.
Well, what about February 4th? What if we did the week before that?
I could do it 4th, 5th, or 6th.
Okay. 4th, 5th, or 6th?
Yeah.
Why don't we do a Wednesday, the 5th, at 5:30? And that gives me time to get with Gayla and see what we can come up with as far as budget stuff goes. And so just kind of be thinking before that workshop, what do we want to do this year? What do we want to accomplish? What kind of goals do we each have individually and as a group for Parks and Rec? What do we want to do different? There might be something we don't want to do anymore. We want to change anything. This is kind of just open for discussion on 2025 in general.
Sorry, I'll continue.
Yeah. Because workshops are a little more, like, we won't be sitting up here. We'll get a table and we'll sit around it and it's a little more laid back, a little less formal. Yeah. Got to eat. Get anything done, Pat?
What do we have?
Pizza.
Okay.
Okay. Will you bring,
I'll put out her what?
you can bring, I don't know.
I'll bring some
Okay, sounds good.
pepperoni sauce.
Okay.
February 5th, 5:30.
None of that cauliflower
No, whatever.
crust stuff, though, okay?
Stuff we killed.
I need, okay. All right, that sounds good. And that gives us plenty of time to say, I want to talk about this, or I want to bring this up, and for us to talk about, so. All right, that sounds good. Number 4. We got a lot of caps, y'all. We've got a lot of caps to go through. Jason can attest to that because he's been the one getting the bags out and putting the bags back in for us. So, I think we had sorted through about 60 pounds at our first sorting.
2 bags.
Yeah, and we have how many bags back there?
34, I think.
Golly, okay.
I'm getting ready to be another one.
Yeah, yeah. So we've still got a ways to go before we get to our first table, but people are still bringing those caps in. They're still donating them. I mean, they really jumped on board with it. I didn't know it would take off like wildfire, but it did. So we do need to schedule another cap sorting. So you all want to give me another date? I don't want to wear us out, but it's a new year and got quite a bit to catch up on, so. I mean, I'm good with Valentine's Day. He's got plans on Valentine's Day.
Depends how long you've been married.
Yeah, it depends on when you've been
Might
married.
not be a popular choice, but if we're already gathering on the 5th,
Uh-huh.
so we want to just do it when that wraps up.
Do you know what I was
Or like during.
Work, okay, a working
I was kind of
workshop.
thinking that same thing, Mina, that,
I'm a professional multitasker.
I know.
I am all
yeah,
in.
but I was thinking like between now and the 5th, that we could kind of exchange some emails about what we're doing and kind of have a rough
Yeah,
idea.
get a little heads,
and
yeah.
kind of accomplish a couple things at one time, if it takes a little longer than an hour and a half.
Okay.
We'll invite our friends.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we'll, yeah, a working workshop.
We've not done a bad or two.
Hands-on
Yeah,
workshop.
It's pretty mindless work.
It is pretty mindless
Yeah.
work,
Might as well
and-
just exchange ideas.
I think that's a great idea, because then we could kind of put together an outline of what we, I mean, one of us can write.
Does anybody have a drawing board? Or one of those,
Easels?
yeah, that with the, so we can brainstorm.
No,
while
but
we're
I've
working.
got a lot of ledger paper or something I could bring.
There's no like whiteboard here. Is that-
No, I don't think so. We don't have a whiteboard, do
I don't
we?
think we do. I don't think we do.
You know, we might need to get one of
Yeah,
those.
We invest in one.
That seems like that.
I like a good
Just throw it
brainstorm
on your
board.
computer and just throw it up there.
Yeah,
You could scribble and have it come up there, just like the whiteboard. I can't imagine you can. I just don't.
what would be nice is if my iPad, like if I had an iPad and I could connect it to the, but I still have to connect it to that cord.
Yeah.
So I want to be,
I think we can make it work without a whiteboard. I mean,
okay.
I do have one.
Yeah.
Well, because if there's plenty, if there's at least the 3 of us that are missing the cats and talk at the same time, Kelsey could hit them.
Yeah.
We can do it, Kelsey.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And even if we only knock out one bag or something like that, 30, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
it's still down.
Okay. Okay, let's do that. Let's do it in the same night.
Our budget caps workshop.
Yes.
Budget, yeah, caps. Plans for 2025.
Perfect.
And we can record it too, so in case we need to go back and listen. But that sounds good to me.
Me too.
Yeah, we can chat and work at the same time.
We can even, we can video record it too, probably, if we wanted to. If we want to go that far with it. All right. Okay, that's fine with me. I think that sounds great. So we'll just, yeah. Great idea. You all are so
Now,
smart.
this doesn't negate pizza, does it?
Hey,
We're still gonna eat.
We've
I
lost
was
people
thinking
now.
maybe you could have cap sorting at the bingo.
He just has our caps instead of the
Yeah.
bingo thing.
Is that what you're doing?
Actually,
That is the winner of it.
60 people, and if you win, You don't have to sort any more cats.
Isn't that fun? What a fun idea.
We're a real fun group.
We are.
Yeah.
Bingo will disappear.
I'm afraid we don't get to be very.
Low attendance, record low attendance. Okay,
That's already done.
what a great idea.
That was, yeah, thank you.
That's a great idea. Okay, thank you. All right, any more questions about the workshop, the hands-on cap sorting, budget, working plans for 2025 workshop?
I think it's an excellent use of
All
our time.
right, sounds good to me. Okay, number 5, yoga. So yoga is starting on the 21st of this month. She's got 12 participants.
Well, it does sound like we have a wait list.
We do, and I had a couple of cancellations, so I went to the next 2 people in line.
Nice.
Nice.
So I've been keeping up with it, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna arrive between 9 and 9:15 in the morning of the first class, and they'll have to sign a waiver for the city. So our city attorney helped Gayla put that together months ago. Vanessa Ledbetter, the instructor, she signed a vendor form, and which is also a waiver for her, and then all the participants will sign the waiver before the class begins. So, but you know, she's only charging us $30 a class for 6 weeks. That's very doable, and this is a trial run to see how it goes. Because we do have a waiting list of people that would like to maybe do the next 6 weeks. She's doing it here, so her and I kind of figured to have 6 people in 2 rows so that they had plenty of room. What do you think?
I was wondering how she arrived at the 12. It strikes me as a little low.
Okay.
Because our bonus room was paper.
I started saying, I think my yoga class is 16 and the room is probably about
Yeah, I mean,
half the size.
Really?
yeah.
Oh, we're almost touching.
Yeah.
She came by, I was not here, but she came by to see Gayla a week or so ago. And she had a good look at the room, and then her and I texted afterwards, and she was like, I don't know, do you think we should just start out with like 8 or 10? And I said, well, I think you can do 12 easy. So she might be more comfortable with that number.
I would say
of
maybe
people.
12 is good for this session to let her get comfortable
Sure.
and see if she's comfortable, because especially if you have some people who have never done it and maybe need a little more attention or something, maybe that's her pocket. You know, as opposed to someone that comes every week and kind of knows all the QE.
Yeah, so this, and, you know, the participants don't have to pay anything this time. We might want to revisit those terms if it becomes a thing, but, you know, we might do a donation-based class next time. But I think this time, just to get the foot in the door for her and people interested in learning more about yoga and beginners and stuff, I think this is a good start.
I think so. It was good to see that much interest.
Okay. So the week of February the 4th, the reason she cut out that date is because the Park Service is using this room all week for something. I can't recall what she said, but I think they're doing like some all-day classes in here or something. So she had to skip yoga for that week, and then she'll pick back up the following week.
They're using it that whole week? When do they end?
Because we chose that,
Yeah, that's the week we're meeting.
we just got.
Oh, it's not gonna be, I think maybe 3 o'clock
okay.
or something. Yeah, it's not gonna be all day.
Okay.
Sorry, I should
So our 5:30 is
not.
not.
No, it's fine. I'll double check with Gayla,
Yeah,
so she's got the calendar out for this room, so. Okay, any questions about yoga?
I just have one on that. So I know the functional aging class, we ended up canceling, right? Because there were no one signed up. So I wonder, like, what, were we targeting a different audience with the yoga that made people sign up?
I don't know what it was. Now, here's the difference. When because Penny did a video, like she did a
I thought that was
video and
really
everything.
good awesome offering for this community. I was like pretty bummed to
Me
see it
too.
flop.
Me too.
But I'm trying to extract, like, if there's a lesson learned for us about, like, the types of programming people are drawn to, maybe that can be covered on the fit, but like, we should dissect that a little bit.
I think so too.
Because I've been wondering, and there's like other yoga that's cropping up.
I know.
Lori, I went to that, with my mother-in-law, it's a
Yeah.
little class, but it was basically a private, it was just me and my mother-in-law.
Oh, and then Taylor does it a lot.
Yes, and then Taylor, so it got me, I was like, now it feels like there's too many cooks in the kitchen for a town like ours. Because in my head, I'm thinking we cancel functional aging, but then Vanessa's session's full, Lori's not getting many people, it's hard to gauge the time of year, people don't want to go out in the cold, because the fire station's pretty cold. She's
Yeah.
like doing her best to warm it up, but, yeah, it's just,
It didn't make sense.
It's-
I know, I was
yeah,
thinking the
yeah.
same thing. And can I just say, it might have been divine intervention on Penny's behalf.
yeah, it's
Because-
yeah.
And we talked about it and we said maybe the timing wasn't right for you. Maybe it wasn't about the community, maybe it was for you personally. So we might just, and I told her, I said, we'll revisit it when you're ready. So I think she needed a little bit of time too. She was willing to do it, but I didn't want her to feel like she had to. And I told her, I said, you know, we don't have any signups yet, so if you feel like you need to revisit it later, that's totally fine. And the way that we promote it, the only difference was I did a flyer for yoga, and with her, she did the video, and I don't know, because she was gonna do it here, it was gonna be morning time. We did the surveys for yoga and the functional aging class. We got incredible responses for both. But she even told me, she said, you know, this has happened to me before, she said, I'll put a program out there, I'll try to introduce something like this to the community, and you get a lot of people interested, but when it comes down to the wire of committing for 6 weeks, they don't want to commit. But the people that signed up for yoga, they want to commit to that. So I don't know,
Penny's offering was free too, right?
it was donation based. So she wasn't going to charge them, she just wanted them to pay what they could afford.
The only thing I can think of is like, you just read a little blurb on here, you know, it's a class.
Just for the camera.
It was kind of marketed as a class for seniors and to help with mobility issues, and I wonder how many people maybe read that and were like, oh, it's not for me. Like, I don't need that. Just like psychologically, you know,
Sure.
that phrasing
Yeah.
maybe doesn't jive with everybody, and yoga perhaps was more of a broader brush.
Okay.
And my fear was that you're asking people to come and be vulnerable and let me show you what I can't do.
Right, right. I think
I feel
That was
that
my
maybe a little bit
take.
of it is you're asking people to come and let me show you how to do something that possibly that you are too old to do or you aren't strong enough to do. And people don't
Yeah,
want,
it's a
people
little
don't want
bit
to
of a
expose
touchy
it.
topic.
Yeah.
Even
It
though
is.
it's a brilliant offering.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really, but it is tough, it's a tough sell,
Mhm.
just by nature, like, because. of the-
Yeah, because yoga was like bam, bam, bam,
Yeah,
booked in less than 3 hours.
because it doesn't remind people of their age, maybe, and their
Maybe.
limitations.
Limitations.
Yeah.
I agree with her. I think it was the name
Yeah,
just turned people
Yeah.
off. Because when you're my age, you don't want to admit
Yeah,
that
yeah,
mobility.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you could call it something else.
Let's
like-
call it something. Okay.
Or you don't,
Dancing.
you don't want to come to a class with 6 other
Yeah.
people and show you what I can't do.
Yeah, I mean, I just.
Even if it's a good offering and to
Yeah.
help people, it's, I think there's maybe some embarrassment.
Yes. Because I even thought of like my in-laws who are in their 60s, I was like, well, are they the target for this? Or is it like 70 plus? But in my head, I was like, my in-laws would never, you know, admit that they
Yeah.
need this. And so then I got to thinking, maybe this should be like reworked a little bit. Because Penny has so much to offer.
I know she
And
does.
she's right here in our community, so like,
Right.
it's not her, it's like, this just needs to be,
Like, I think it needs to be put in a different mindset.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think if we already had different classes that we offered to seniors or to to certain age groups and stuff like that, it would definitely fit right in.
This was
So
sort of
that would
stuck out
still-
like a sore thumb a little bit, and if you signed up, you're sort of
That's exactly, that's it, that's
Yeah.
my thought too.
Yeah, okay. I totally understand now. That makes a lot of sense.
At the Blunt Memorial Wellness Center, where I know Vanessa teaches, I've seen on their schedule, they have a class called Fitness for Life, and I really like that phrasing, and I've been to it before. And pretty much the instructor just talked, like, it's functional movement, it's a lot of what she wants to do, but it's just under the guise of like, this is just keeping you fit and active so that you can do all the things that life requires of you for.
Well, it should be good, because that's always been kind of her foray, is you're,
Yeah,
even though you're not
she's-
lifting weights,
Yeah.
here's how you're exercising and
Yeah.
going about your daily business.
Right, or be able to like reach for something and like pick your grandkids up or whatever it is. But Fitness for Life, I thought was
Yeah.
maybe a little better.
So maybe the name was intimidating and
Aging.
not,
Yeah.
not,
Nobody wants to admit they.
No.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
we don't want to.
It wasn't
There's a
attractive.
lot of things I can still do in my head, but I'm not sure.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. I definitely want her to do it. We just need to, like you said, reconfigure.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Any more on yoga? Wow, we are having some great discussions tonight. Okay. All right, down to bingo. So bingo is on the 20th, and I just need to know how many of you plan to be here for bingo?
I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll be here.
Kathy, Lena, Brett, did you say you'd be here? Or we have?
And we'll be in town too.
So I'll just put us all down, and if something happens, me and Mia did it that one time, just the two of us, so, I do want to say something before we do have bingo on the 20th. I had somebody reach out to me after the last bingo that we had in November, and while it was a fun time, and everybody had a good time, there was an issue, because our eyes couldn't be on everything all the time. But there was an issue with a couple of the players, they had like 4 cards in front of them. And so what we need to do is maybe instead of just leaving the cards on the table before we start, we need to kind of go around and pick up any extras laying there and make sure we say 1 card, 2 cards max should be in front of you because because we had a couple of wins from somebody that was playing 3 cards. So that's not fair.
And like a ham and a turkey.
Well,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
And-
That's not fair.
And so I was okay. It's the holidays, you don't want to be the Grinch, but at the same time, that was just a learning thing for us. And so when we have bingo on the 20th, let's just kind of
Police that.
police that a little better.
Can you make an announcement?
Yeah.
Or just
And I'll make an
keep it fair, keep cards.
Yeah, because we don't want to, come on, guys, like, this is bingo. Let's be honest here. So, hey Dale, while you're back there, can you show me how much popcorn we've got sitting back there? Should be there by the machine. Is there just about that much?
I don't
Get on
see, I
Amazon
don't see
real
any.
quick.
Popcorn?
No. We've got plenty of bags.
I don't see any.
Yeah, popcorn was really low when I looked at it.
There's a door to the popcorn machine, open it, it's in there.
Check for butter also.
The oil.
Ooh, no, that's not much.
Okay, I'll pick up some more popcorn. And, how much oil have we got, Dale?
Check your oil.
That's, okay, I'll get some more oil.
That's spray all.
All right, this price, okay, just butter, whatever if somebody wants it. Okay,
You already announced bingo, Sophie?
yes,
Okay, what was the count like?
68.
All right.
Yeah, we've been having a fair share that we don't show.
Yeah.
I also had a couple people that reached out to me that they were like, hey, I missed it, like, have you got any room? And I said, honey, we'll make room. It's fine. Just come on. We will figure it out. I don't want to turn people away. Especially, I just had two or four people reach out to me after I closed it and said, hey, like, we missed it. Do you care if we still come? And I said, well, typically the day of bingo, even though it says we have 68 RSVPs, most likely we're gonna lose about 10 to 12 or more.
Yeah.
So I told them to come on. That's fine. And Mark brought some prizes earlier today. What did you bring, Mark?
We brought some jams, a couple
Okay.
packs of jams and some honeys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes, appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, that's all right.
Mark is with the garden, the Tuckledge. Y'all know Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you all think that we still have enough prizes, or should I go and pick up some more stuff? I'm trying to remember from November, because we
I
had
think we
extra
have some
stuff.
small stuff, and maybe one or two
Okay,
nicer items.
like gift cards.
Gift card or something.
Maybe gift cards, yeah. I brought a couple little blankets, food items.
And I think there's some blankets and stuff in there and all, so
Yeah, we've got cereal now. You can win a box of cereal.
breakfast.
That's $12.
Hey, groceries are not cheap, guys.
Eggs.
Yeah, eggs. Local eggs.
Local eggs.
Yeah.
Honey and eggs.
You could make a loaf of sourdough bread
I could,
and bring.
then I would play.
That's good.
Oh, you would play. Okay.
With my 4 cards.
Okay. All right. Jason, do we have plenty of water?
Yes, I just want to pick that 15.
Perfect, thank you so much. And we should have plenty of snacks still.
Oh, we had a bin full of snacks.
We had a bin full of snacks.
Yeah, I think we're fine.
We'll just need to make sure we're not out of date or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we should be good for bingo, guys. Since it's gonna be cold, is there any way, Brett, that you could volunteer to, since we're probably gonna run out of parking, obviously, to maybe kind of monitor people outside that might need a ride up the hill, especially if they're elderly. Most of the time, they're bringing them up and dropping them off and then going and parking, but, you know, if there's a way we can help
Oh, that
out.
is good money.
Oh, I try to park up on the hill. I mean, I'll sneak it by
I do
6
too.
spots,
I try to park up on the hill.
just so that it's 5 spots.
Yeah.
Kelsey, for this one, can we get all the city cars and all the spare police cars moved out of this parking lot for bingo? Because last time they took up 5 or 6 spots. And,
He's working at the school.
Yeah,
Just
just for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get with, Jason and Chief and Tim and.
Shouldn't be a big deal.
Just
We'll figure
Maybe
something
do
out.
half of them, it'd be a
Yeah,
plus,
that's
yeah, some of them,
spots.
if you can't,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
Yeah,
can.
long as Chief's okay, we can move it. There's one that's in front of the steps, we probably need to leave because afraid they'll hit the handrail because it was hit before.
Oh, okay.
Too long ago.
Gotcha.
And had somebody else do something to it, but we won't go there. Yeah, that's the reason that little truck's there,
Okay.
because of the handrail.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Every little bit helps.
If anything, we can probably move at least a couple.
Yeah, as long as Chief's good with it, I mean,
Okay.
we'll move on that. Shouldn't be a
Alright.
problem.
Any more, questions regarding bingo? Okay. You know, I'm fine. Pat raises his hand, he knows he can talk, so. So, Mark, John, you got anything to say?
No, looking forward to yoga.
I have some questions,
Yes, sir.
as always. So, as you know, we have our group now, the Riverwalk, and we did have some graffiti over the holidays, of course, nice Christmas graffiti, why not? But we took care of it. It was on the tunnel wall, so. But the other thing, and I don't know if you all have rules and regs for the parks. Something to think about. We have people, we had somebody drop off a memorial there.
I saw that.
Yeah,
And
and it was,
wondering-
I don't know how they got it, it was a 18 by 18
Yeah,
piece of
yeah.
paper with pictures pasted
Yeah.
on it and some other, but we get people, I've had people ask, we had people just do stuff, but it's not a bad thing to try, to let people know that it's not a good idea to do things like that. We're gonna put something on the website about it, but I'd like to get some continuity with Parks and Rec,
Okay.
so that we all are singing off the same song sheet, and when, something comes up, it's a lot easier to say, I'm sorry, this is just the way life is,
Yes, sir.
but,
Okay.
that's,
Okay. Thank you for saying that. That's not something that's came up yet. So one of the things that I know we have in place right now is just for this room, like if somebody wants to book this room
Right.
for an event, there's certain rules and regulations
right.
that they have when they sign that rental agreement. With the park rental agreement, like if somebody wants to rent that park, that's different, but not only rentals, but there's a couple of rules up there. It's mainly pick up after your pet type stuff.
Yeah,
As far as the park down there,
it's
we
free
don't
will.
have, yeah.
I've seen it.
Which not a lot of people are there right now, and they haven't been because the ramp's been closed off. But people are still getting down to the river. That's inevitable, it's gonna happen. But we are protected under TCA, Parks and Recreation. There's a section in there that I spoke with the city attorney about, so as long as we have proper signage up, like what our maintenance crew put up for us, if somebody does get hurt at either of those places right now, at the bridge or the park, then, the city's not liable for that stuff. But we do need some, rules and regs for,
There's always, because
I'm
people
glad you
take
said that,
advantage.
yeah.
They'll take advantage.
right,
I
okay.
mean, we
Where
see
was
it
that
all the
left?
time.
Where was that left at?
Excuse me?
Where was that left
It
at?
was against a tree. We had just cleared actually around, because it's a big old sycamore tree, and we're gonna do
Yeah.
some stuff with it to market because it is so large. And they just laid it against it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, of course, then it rained, and then all the stuff came off of it, so now you're in the littering,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, I don't even want to see it.
It was such a nice thing to do in memory of someone in house.
Yeah, it was weird, because I know one of the people, they tried to look up who it was, and couldn't even find, who it was. They didn't put a last name, they put a first name, and we don't know, but anyhow, I didn't know if you all had anything like that. I think the Smokies they have things about memorials, because people, they like the river. So
Yeah.
like down the Special People's Park there, along the river, people love to put memorials, because they like the little river, and we had somebody put a bench there without our knowledge.
Okay,
They came in, we got it, I'm just trying to bring something for future.
okay, let's talk about that in the workshop.
Can you email us or Kelsey some of your ideas? What
Yeah, sure.
you'd like to see, and we can
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
incorporate it into something that
Yeah.
we're gonna add to it. It'll help us, and then we can add stuff to yours too, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, it's
kind of
great, because
joint.
if we're all on the same song sheet, it really makes it so much easier when people are visiting different areas here. Guess what? It's all the same, we don't have to, oh, here you can do this, well, it'll be something.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Mark, I
Yes.
appreciate that, and bravo for all the stuff you all have done down there. That is amazing, honestly.
We got some good stuff.
I know
We
you
did get an address for the Riverwalk now.
Right.
It's 7447.
Okay.
So we have that.
It's official.
We're gonna be starting the picnic area this year, and also finishing the Children's Discovery Garden, so.
Nice.
I just
And then
love
we'll
that.
be in big maintenance mode. We're gonna start educational things, so.
That's
Some
wonderful.
classes and stuff.
Nice.
Awesome.
Excellent.
It's
Yeah,
not gonna be a hidden gem anymore.
No.
I've been trying not to tell people because I'm like, you gotta live here.
It's funny, yeah, and the funniest part is it's older people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's adults.
Oh,
They were
everybody.
down there, there was a
Yeah.
whole group of adults, they were down there for Christmas, for some kind of Christmas gathering. They were riding, they were in the little car, the seesaw.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is,
that's not for kids. That's for adults.
I know, I do it like it's.
Your sign, yeah.
Yeah.
Question, do you all have any sort of surveillance down there?
No, we don't, no. The best thing that's happening now is we have so many people coming through there that it does get self-surveilled. But we have really had so few issues, it's kind of amazing because of the fairy gardens and stuff, they're all sitting there.
Right,
Yeah.
And anybody can do anything, but we've had graffiti's the biggest thing. But no, not yet, and, we'd like to have a way to count people, a trail counter, things like that, so that we can get a good, count of how many people are using it, but
okay.
not yet. We
Okay.
may put some trail cams up, though, depending. if
Well,
things
that's
get
kind of what I was
Yeah.
thinking. We need some for that park up there and for that park down there.
Yeah.
I think we need to look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not-
Especially if we're gonna start making these improvements and stuff.
Yeah. The more people you get, and it only takes one or two, and
Yeah,
Costs a lot of money.
it does, and time,
yeah.
Hard work, yeah.
got other things to do.
Kelsey, I did want to mention one thing. If somebody really feels like they have to leave a memorial here in Townsend, we've got bricks out here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea,
You
that's a
know,
great
maybe,
idea.
if you find somebody that really wants to do it, at least that way it's controlled. And we tell them one thing, and you can tell them another thing. And it's not on the river, but at least it's in the city,
Throw it in the newsletter, maybe.
And it's permanent.
and it's permanent.
Yeah, I like
Good
that.
idea, Clark.
Yeah.
Except they can drill it, it takes
It's a good idea.
Okay, yes, thank you, Brett.
And Mark, I was thinking last time I was there with my kids, I know you guys have had that sign up by the kitchen for a while, the like little poem, that encourages people to clean up, and
Yeah.
we always do, but I was wondering if like the general area needs a sign of sorts about just like kind of rules of the road, like how you want people to engage with your space, because it is still fairly new and it's changing constantly, to your credit, which is great. But I think it needs some direction around it.
We will, we have in the garden there, we're gonna be putting a sensory path with gardens. So it's gonna be a whole sensory thing, that's gonna be in the front. So going into that, we'll have some signage.
Great.
So yeah, that's on our plans. We just, as we're moving, sometimes we don't know what we're doing. And we just sort of go, this would be a great place for this,
Yeah.
and we do it. But no, we have actually a lot of signs we're,
Working on.
hopefully in the next couple of months we'll be getting out there.
Awesome.
So with the new, we put that garden on the hillside now.
Mhm.
So that
Yeah.
these guys don't have to mow anymore there. The summer garden, and we got a sign coming in for that and some other things. But yeah.
The graffiti, did you all take care of that yourselves, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we just got the graffiti remover. It worked great.
Hmm.
Just a spray on.
Next time, if that happens again, will you take photos
Yeah.
and email to me?
Sure.
If that happens again, because if that keeps reoccurring, because I know down at the bridge, we had some graffiti there, and if that starts occurring, we'll have to address it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
very much.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support.
Absolutely.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you guys just talked about getting a fireproof dumpster. You guys still doing that?
The what now?
The fireproof dumpster?
We are, yeah, that's going to be part of the picnic area over there. When we do the picnic area, yes. So we are gonna, we'll be putting that in. And we need that bad because people leave stuff, especially by the portage on there.
Yeah.
They think that's a place you leave your diapers and they're gonna pick up stuff, or dog.
Okay.
They pick up after their dogs,
And
and
then
then
they
they leave the bags. And it's like, I say, what?
Half the job, 50%.
Oh, it's amazing the stuff you learn.
It used to be that way under the swinging bridge, before we put in Bear Creek facility. I'd go down there on a Monday morning and I'd pick up 2 garbage bags full
Wow.
of stuff. And now that we have that, it's much less. The city empties it almost every day, I think. And that cleaned up that a lot. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
good.
that would help.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is another thing that we've been asked a lot is about having like doggy dumpsters. Talking, but there's been a lot of people asked us on the trail about,
Like on the bike trail?
yes, you know, they don't have a place to.
Thought about that.
Yeah.
I just
So-
keep mine in the stroller and then
It's a
sometimes I
good-
forget about it.
Yeah.
And that's
So you find your bags laying on the side of the
Yeah.
trail.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Well, they make the stations all
Yeah.
one
Good.
thing, sign,
Yeah.
and then the garbage there, so.
But there's like none on the path.
No.
We
I know,
talked about
but
that a long time
we
ago.
had talked about that, and my fear was that people would use that as a trash can.
I know.
That's only that big.
Yeah.
But they still will. They'll put cups and coffee cups and stuff and food trash, yeah.
And that was one of the fears of putting that dumpster down by the swinging bridge, was people bring their household garbage
Yeah.
and put in there. And there's some of that,
Yeah.
but it's not overwhelming, you know?
Yeah, I think what you're talking about down there by the Special People's Park, that area, I think people were dumping their household garbage down there because they might have thought, oh, nobody's gonna see me at night, like dumping this garbage here, like it's, there's nobody around, and I know, like, you guys had to clean up some stuff.
Yeah, we still have quite a bit. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still there. I mean, and then you have the other PDOT still comes through and empties too, so you got quite a few people that's empty other than us. So.
But it's mostly the city cleaning
Yeah.
it out, okay. All right. Anything else for public input? Okay. All right, we'll move down to if there's any other business.
Are we doing birthday tomorrow at
Yes.
2:00?
It's in my calendar. I would have got the reminder tomorrow.
Do you know where the additional supplies are?
Should be in the conference room.
Well, I have the bags that
You
are on
do?
me. What about the? didn't
Was
you-
there Amazon boxes back
I didn't
there?
see any.
Then they're in the office
Okay.
with.
I'll grab those so I can.
Can you,
how many
when we get
January?
done, I need to check and see if, because Gala said that the bingo chips came in and, the other stuff for the birthday club. So
So
we're
we're making
making,
many for January?
no. We're just gonna do November and December tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing January's. Not yet, not till the end of the.
Okay, then I just got a few here that need the extra supplies and that'll be good. And I've got,
Because we'll probably have 50 kids in the cafeteria if
We did.
we
if we
do all
did
three
January.
rooms.
Yeah, I think between these two we have about 25.
24, 25, yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
fine.
Good.
We're playing catch up for
Yeah.
November and December with that, so January, I will find out. And we'll also be giving Connie a check for the Christmas parade, entry fees, from the parade.
Okay.
So I believe that check's about $1,400 to the school.
Fabulous.
So,
Beautiful.
yep. Yep, so we'll meet at the school tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay?
I have a few questions.
Okay.
First one, real quick, scaling back to the Special People's Park, EPA grant, that was the whole issue with the city and all that. Where is this, what's the status of that? Because what we do there relates to that. If that, something happens with that, that will take care of our grant issues and everything at the Special People's Park, right?
Right.
What's the status of that? I have not heard. I mean, is it happening, is it not happening?
I don't think it's happening, unfortunately. Pat, you were there for the meeting, I was out sick. What was the
The mayor
status?
very briefly said that Katie said that they were not awarded that grant.
Okay,
But who knows what's possible this year? Because of the administration change, new people charging EPA, all that, who knows? But
okay.
So she's gonna reapply?
I don't know,
Maybe technically.
you know.
I don't know, but the city would now, if the city wanted to apply as the lead applicant, we could.
I don't even know if it's a program.
However, yeah, I don't even know if that's, if there's gonna be any money left for that.
I would guess.
Yeah.
That she'd just polish it off and put it back in if they were going to take submissions.
Yeah. So we'll just have to,
But as of right now, it's,
but the deadline has already came and passed, but.
And everything's already been awarded. Because they wanted to get it done by the 20th of January.
gotcha, okay.
So no, we were not awarded that APA, but had to cross that through.
Quick question for Mr. Maintenance. Gutters, City Park, little pavilion?
Yes, same as this flood breaks.
Something we
Yeah, I think I talked about with Kelsey, we may, instead of putting gutters, we may try to put like a little swell in there. Try that first with gravel and stuff, and you can get that water going the opposite way. We was up there looking at it the other day, and you can see where some of the ditch is filled in, and it's pushing water right in there, so.
You don't think that it's splashing down on the park side?
Well, that can cause a lot of it too, but I think we put that swell in, I think it's gonna be good. I mean, but we can check.
Yeah, I mean, just because that's what we mainly had to clean up, was the mud and stuff,
Yeah.
the wash. But
Yeah.
if you can get,
That's
there'll be something, perfect. Perfect. Christmas parade review, everything good? Was there any issues?
No, it was
Everybody
great.
happy? Everybody good?
It was a shorter parade. We didn't have as many applicants this year, this past year, and so, you know, that was kind of tough, but the parade, I think maybe lasted an hour.
Yeah. Ish.
Hour
It was cold.
15-ish.
And it was cold.
It was cold.
Yeah.
Part of it was because it was so late in the year too, I think.
Well, and I think that
Thanksgiving
weird
being so
holiday
late.
weekend, yeah.
Yeah. But no issues, no complaints?
No issues, no complaints.
Good, perfect. Let me check that one.
None have come my way, at least.
I think we just said next year we would try to like decouple it from Thanksgiving, right? And try to be the next weekend.
Yeah.
I think that has to do with the dip in attendance.
Yeah, probably. And Randy said that they have done it before when it was that close to Thanksgiving. She said some people liked it, some people don't. She said, but attendance was lower. So,
It's
We'll
just
just-
always the first.
it's always been the first Sunday of
It's the
December.
weather, it's the weather.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big factor.
And Chief Stallion said, "I'll rain or shine, we're having a parade, and if I just have to run down the road in the fire truck, honking my horn, if I'm the only one on the road, I'm gonna have a parade." And so, but we'll look at the dates for the holidays next year.
I didn't hear anything bad, I didn't, everybody I talked to
Yeah.
loved it, I mean,
Yeah.
it was shorter, they all,
It was shorter.
but I see that's because of circumstances.
But that porta potty with the fire under it is the most comical, people look forward to it.
Who did that?
Shannon Skidmore.
Yeah.
For his porta potty business.
Shoot
Shoots
flames.
out stuff out there, yeah.
Used to shoot Tootsie Rolls at one time.
He ran out of Tootsie Rolls on that.
That's even funny.
But it's
I think we won't have that problem
Next year.
this year because
Yeah.
the Thanksgiving's on the Thursday, but the next, it's the 7th. So it's,
Yeah, that's better.
I think that'd be
that's
okay.
much better.
Perfect, perfect.
Now, my granddaughters had a complaint. They couldn't fill up the 4th and 5th bags.
Oh, gosh. Is it because you kept dipping into it?
It's unbelievable. They didn't take any bags with them at all. And by the time it was over, all the hats and the pockets and they had a ton of candy. We dumped it out on the kitchen table when we got back. So no, they didn't complain. Except one booth threw out Barbie dolls, which was nice if you're on the receiving end and it doesn't hit you.
Did you get hit?
No, one landed right in front of my granddaughter. She grabbed it.
Well, hey,
But
Those aren't cheap.
Yeah.
Some car club was throwing out Matchbox cars.
Yes,
Years.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We
That's
got one of
nice.
those.
But even if that hits you though.
Little truck about it.
It wasn't that anybody got hit, it was what if.
Same with the
I didn't see the Barbie dolls.
That's a what if.
I was standing
I still,
down here
I
at
still
the
got it, I
back.
play with it every night.
He sleeps.
Okay, all right. Are you running out of battery? Okay, all right.
I one more question.
Okay.
Back to you, Swing Bridge. I've had 3 people come up and ask and say, what's going on? There were visitors in town, I'm like,
No one knows.
this is where we are, I don't, I
And
haven't heard this.
last I've heard on that is we're still trying to figure out who the property owners is on each side of it and getting a letter from Blount County. That's the last I've heard.
And who's responsible for doing that? Getting the official letter? from
You know, I
Buckeye?
have no idea.
I think it's like this,
Yeah, it's, exactly, and it's,
and there's no question who owns the property on this side. It's
Yeah.
under deed, the access point is clearly marked under deed for public access. That's, the other side's the one
But who owns the bridge? Did we figure that out?
that's the reason you got this going on.
yeah,
So,
The county or the city?
years ago, there was a handshake deal apparently that.
verbal
that-
agreement, yeah.
A verbal agreement that,
This hand right here.
right.
You?
Yes.
Well, step up, sir.
The agreement then,
I'm sorry.
it had gotten washed out and severely damaged in a flood.
Mhm.
The county wanted to tear it down. The city said, no, we don't want that to happen.
Okay.
So the county said, okay, we'll repair it, but you're responsible for maintenance from now on. They own it, we have the responsibility for maintaining it. That was the handshake deal, and I was there.
Well, there's a difference between maintenance and repair. Maintenance is everyday.
Yes,
lot-
and that's the reason.
Repair now is,
And that's the reason, it needs to go to the higher authorities.
Yeah.
The mayor needs to sit down with the county mayor and work it out.
yeah.
And-
Because we're not allowed, I'm sorry, to-
No, you're fine.
we're not allowed to spend technically public funds or apply for grants for that bridge unless we have something in writing that we're responsible for it.
We'll get it, it's just who's doing it. is-
It just has to, that meeting has to happen.
So basically, we have to be like the mayor, I mean,
Yeah, Mike Eckert, he kind of stepped in, because he worked for Arkansas in Blount County, and was supposed to get something done, or try to get something
Yeah.
done, so
working.
there we are again. Yeah.
Okay, and answer that question, I'll relay the information. Think we're still the same, perfect.
Thank you, Brett.
I'm done.
Thank you, great questions.
Yeah.
Great questions.
Catch up.
Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow, and if not, I'll see you Monday.
Bingo.
Remember. It's on my calendar, I'll get reminded.
We'll text you.
Okay. Yeah, we shouldn't need anything else for bingo or birthday bags, I think we're good. All right, anything else before we adjourn? Okay, motion to adjourn?
Any motion, you adjourn?
Okay, do I have a second? Second. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, thank you all so much. Thank you. Great.